For a second there, it looked like the WWE was going to be returning to the old days of a Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series for brand supremacy. And for a couple of weeks, it looked like that's where we were going because we had Nick Aldis, the general manager of SmackDown, feuding, at least in a professional sense, with the general manager of Monday Night Raw, Adam Pearce. But it looks like the WWE has tossed that out the window because they decided to go with a more traditional Survivor Series War Games match involving everyone from Monday Night Raw, it seems. But hey, that's not going to stop me from making this video because today we're going to be fantasy booking a Raw versus SmackDown Survivor Series set of matches for both the men's division and the women's division. Now, for these teams, I've decided to make it a little bit more difficult on myself and not include any of the major champions. So the women's teams will not include Io Sky, Rhea Ripley, Roman Reigns, or Seth Rollins. But we should still be able to build out a pretty badass team, and at the end I'll figure out who I think would win in a match between the two. And hey, as always, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications if you're a wrestling fan. I'm confident that you're going to fall in love with this channel because we upload daily wrestling content. And if you want even more wrestling content, you can always check out patreon.com/SantiZap. Over there, you're going to get the Wrestling is Cool podcast 3 days early. You're going to be able to submit questions. You're also going to get the Raw and SmackDown reviews. The review for this most recent episode of Raw is already up there. So if you want to go check it out, go check out patreon.com/SantiZap. It's the very top link in the description, and it's also the pinned comment. You already get daily wrestling content. Why not tack on even more? Go check it out. There might be something that you like there. All right, let's go have a look at who I think Adam Pearce should pick for his women's team for Monday Night Raw. In my opinion, Adam Pearce shouldn't look too hard to find a team captain. I think that the Monday Night Raw team should be captained by none other than Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch is the most veteran presence there. The other veteran presence is Natalya, but Natalya honestly just doesn't carry the same pedigree that somebody like a Becky Lynch does. She also has that aura of been there, done that. So she has main evented WrestleMania, won Royal Rumbles, won titles in NXT, won titles on the main roster. So she's gonna bring a semblance of confidence into this match. And because she's been there, done that, done it all, I think she's the best person suited to lead this group of different personalities to beat Friday Night SmackDown. Plus, if we're looking for a mouthpiece for the Raw team, I think out of everyone that I have on here, the best person on the microphone to help put over the Raw roster is going to be Becky Lynch, in my opinion. Some people don't love Becky Lynch's promo abilities because of all the breaths that she takes in between, but I think that she's so passionate, and I think she can connect with the audience in a way that most women on the WWE roster today would just hope that they wish they could. But Becky Lynch is going to need some backup, and I'm going to add some muscle to this team. So look no further than Raquel Rodriguez, who has been cooking on the main roster on Monday Night Raw over the last several months, and she's had some major marquee feuds, especially with the like of Rhea Ripley at major events this year. And although she hasn't been able to win really like the big one yet, she still has an aura of main event status about her to help bring legitimacy to this Monday Night Raw team. And her strength in combination with Becky Lynch's leadership, I think could be a deadly combination for the Monday Night Raw team. And as you'll see from the Friday Night SmackDown team, we're gonna need that Raw strength, which is why somebody like a Raquel Rodriguez is a very important asset to the Raw team. And because we have so much strength over on the Friday Night SmackDown side, we need someone to help counteract that strength, and somebody like Raquel Rodriguez can do that, but so can somebody like a Nia Jax. I'm sorry, don't boo me, don't throw tomatoes at me, but look, I'm gonna say something that's a little bit controversial. I have not minded Nia Jax since she's returned. I think that she has gotten better, both in the ring, shockingly, and I think her personality, I think her mic work is better, and I think that her in-ring psychology with the facial expressions that she makes has gotten much better as well. And as you'll see from the remaining members of the Raw team, we're gonna need those veteran presences because aside from Becky Lynch, we wouldn't have any other females with years and years of experience on the main roster, so we needed to add a Nia Jax in there to bring somebody with that veteran savvy. And again, her being the irresistible force can help potentially counteract some of the major players that we have coming from Friday Night SmackDown. She's also a multi-time world champion, won titles at WrestleMania, so her resume really does speak for herself. Additionally, she's proven that it requires multiple women to be able to nullify somebody like a Nia Jax. So she can be that individual that forces multiple people of SmackDown to try and have to take her out. Perhaps she can be a distraction in in that way, or perhaps maybe she can be that individual that tires multiple people from the Friday Night SmackDown roster as opposed to only tiring one person at a time. We saw it in the most recent Battle Royal that it took 4 women to be able to take out Nia Jax, and I think it's going to take multiple women to take out Nia Jax in these elimination scenarios. I gotta bring in another young upstart here in Zoe Starks, who has absolutely been cooking on the main roster ever since she was called up from NXT. It's been a breath of fresh air recently seeing Triple H actually treat NXT call-ups like a big deal. And I think that there hasn't been somebody to benefit as much from this mentality than Zoe Stark, who is already in the title picture going into Survivor Series. But we're not taking that into consideration. We can use her for this match. But she brings a really unique combination of being able to, of course, be that raw strength, but she also is a very underrated high flyer. She's constantly doing things that leave my jaw on the ground when it comes to off the top rope maneuvers, springboards, etc. And we've seen her be able to hang with veterans like Becky Lynch, like Trish Stratus in the ring before, and we're gonna need somebody that can handle individuals of that pedigree. Again, when you see the Friday Night SmackDown team, it's gonna be a very valuable asset to have. But hey, you know what? It's not all about raw physical strength. Sometimes we got to play a little bit of mind games, and I don't think that there's somebody better playing at mind games on the Monday Night Raw roster than Chelsea Green. Look, at some point or another, Chelsea Green is going to be fodder, but Chelsea Green has the ability to get under people's skin like no one else can on the Raw roster, and that can be a very valuable asset. She can be a valuable distraction for the Monday Night Raw team. I don't see her being somebody that gets an elimination or multiple eliminations, but I could see her being a distraction to help others on the Raw team get eliminations and take out Team SmackDown. This could also entirely backfire and she could just get destroyed with one move, 1, 2, 3, and she's out. But I think that she brings a unique element from a story perspective and from a character perspective that can truly benefit Team Raw here. And she's not opposed to using some dastardly evil tactics to get a win here or there. So again, whether the baby faces on the Raw team like it or not, that could ultimately help be the difference maker between Raw and SmackDown here. It benefits to have a bad guy on your team, I'm telling you, and a snively, evil, conniving bad guy like a Chelsea Green could really help Team Raw here. All right, let's look at the SmackDown roster. Let's see who I think Nick Aldis should make as the team captain, and I think that it should be, if Raw is gonna have a veteran, I think we gotta have a veteran as well, another member of the 4 Horsewomen. Whether you like it or not, it's gonna be Charlotte, the multi-time world champion. She's gonna go down as probably the greatest women's wrestler of all time, at the very least in terms of accolades. I know everyone hates her, but it's undeniable. She is the queen. She is the ever-looming presence in the WWE. She is always there to win the next world championship. And honestly, when I'm talking kind of like video game talk here, she has hacks. She just wins. So why wouldn't you want somebody who just manages to find wins out of nowhere on your team? And in fact, that's who I want captaining my team, because the likelihood that Charlotte Flair loses matches is already quite low. So if you have her captaining your team, there's a good chance that some shenanigans is going to happen and Charlotte is somehow going to turn into Super Charlotte and help win the whole thing for you. So we have somebody with plot armor, somebody who just never loses. Why not add even more plot armor and add Bianca Belair? Full Super Bianca and Super Charlotte teaming up with one another. I'm going to be honest with you. I think that the rest of the women that I show you on SmackDown are borderline meaningless, because in my opinion, at the very least how they're treated, Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair can 2v5 that Raw team. It's just impossible to beat one of them, let alone 2 of them. And that's why we needed somebody like a Chelsea Green over on the Raw team, because the only way to beat these 2 is through cheating these days. So we needed Chelsea Green to maybe help counteract the hacks that Bianca Belair and Charlotte Flair bring to the table. Like I said, I think Charlotte and Bianca might be enough to beat Team Raw, but hey, let's pad out the team with yet another legend, and let's bring in Asuka into the picture. Asuka's a veteran, Hall of Fame Famer. She can't damage your team. All she can do is make it even better. Her Poison Mist can also be super useful here, where she can neutralize somebody from the Raw roster for the rest of the match by causing them blindness with it. We also have a far more unique and more MMA-like moveset from Asuka to help differentiate and bring variety to the Team SmackDown moveset here. And hey, for a while, at the very least in NXT, Asuka used to have hacks too, so maybe she can channel those inner hacks and join the likes of Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair and make herself entirely unbeatable. Look, I love her, but we gotta add a little bit of fodder to Team SmackDown, otherwise Team SmackDown is just gonna steamroll here. But let's add the amazing, great mouthpiece of the LWO in Zelina Vega. Look, if this was evil Zelina Vega, that's who I'd want on my team, against somebody that is not against using underhanded tactics to get victories here. But unfortunately, we have happy-go-lucky Zelina Vega right now that's all about doing the right thing, and I just don't think that that is the best asset to Team SmackDown. But hey, I'm gonna be honest, the roster's a little bit thin over on SmackDown. There's not too many options here, but she has demonstrated that she can hang with the big fellas as well. Just look at her match in Puerto Rico against Rhea Ripley. That match was absolutely fantastic. But I think that the trump card of Team SmackDown is gonna end up being Bayley here. I know that we don't have champions in this, but we can still have Bayley use damage control to help eliminate one or two people over on Team Raw, because you bring Bayley, you bring damage control as well. And this is another veteran presence that's been in the biggest stages of them all. So we're looking at a team full of veterans on Friday Night SmackDown versus a team of some upstarts and a couple of veterans on Monday Night Raw. I gotta be honest with you, when I look at Team SmackDown with the trump card here being Bayley, somebody that again can just pull wins out of nowhere through dastardly means, I just don't see how Team Raw is winning this any day of the week. Like I said earlier, I think that Charlotte Flair and Bianca Belair alone could solo Team Raw. So this win is easily going to Team SmackDown. All right, Adam Pearce, you lost the women's match, so you got to put together a strong men's team. What do you got? Well, we're going to start off with some hacks, all right? We had some hacks over in the women's side, so let's bring some hacks over to the men's side in Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is far and away the most popular traditional babyface in the company. In terms of star power, this is who you want leading your team if you can't get somebody like a Seth Rollins here. I think that he is a great leader. I think that he brings a veteran presence to the Team Raw as well, a veteran presence that is going to be sorely needed when you look at the rest of the team as well. The only problem is that he has never finished the story. So do you really want somebody captaining your team that hasn't really been able to go all the way in the WWE? Not sure about that. But hey, just having Cody Rhodes alone on your team will have probably the fans on your side, because everybody loves Cody Rhodes. So, you can't really go wrong with having him on your team, let alone being the captain. But if you want to break some chests and really put some damage on Team SmackDown, you gotta have Gunther, the ring general here. And hey, similar to Bayley over on the women's side, bringing Gunther also means that you're likely bringing the dastardly schemes of all of Imperium here. Not that he's ever really needed Imperium to get involved in his matches, because he's already a badass in his own right. He's already won against some of the biggest WWE superstars of all time, trying to take that Intercontinental Championship away from him. But it doesn't hurt to have Imperium in your back pocket, and that's what Team Raw would have as well. Also, wouldn't you want the guy that never loses on your team, the guy who's held that championship for over 400 days? He knows how to win. He knows how to close things out. I definitely want Gunther on Team Raw. The little engine that could, the heart and soul of Monday Night Raw, we gotta have Sami Zayn on the team. He also brings in great chemistry with somebody like Cody Rhodes already, so those two would work alongside very, very well with one another. In a combination of Sami Zayn and Cody Rhodes, you've basically guaranteed that you're gonna have the audience on your side. Like, they're two guys that are too difficult to root for. I can understand maybe not liking one, but disliking both, that's a difficult thing. It's difficult to find the fan that doesn't like Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn here. Sami Zayn is also a veteran of the Survivor Series matches, as he was the trump card and the one that helped secure the victory for Team Bloodline at last year's War Games match. All right, we need some traditional muscle on Team Raw, and we're bringing in the Scottish psychopath Drew McIntyre here. Drew McIntyre, as of the making of this video, has a chip on his shoulder. He just lost to Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel, so this man is looking to kick some heads off, and what better place to have him kick multiple heads off than Survivor Series? We've seen that Claymore kick put just about everyone down, even the likes of Brock Lesnar. So having somebody of the strength, the speed, and the savvy and veteranness of somebody like a Drew McIntyre would be invaluable to Team Raw. We gotta bring Drew McIntyre here. And look, the next one might be a little bit of a surprise, but I think he fits really well with this team. His size, strength, and his surprising agility, and he's been carrying the mid-card for the last several months on Monday Night Raw. I think it's time for him to get an opportunity. Let's bring in our boy Ivar. Ivar has been the unsung hero of Monday Night Raw, putting on match of the night after match of the night after match of the night, and he brings a unique skill set that none of the other guys are able to provide because he's an immovable giant while also being able to do springboards and moonsaults. This guy has a move repertoire that cannot be replicated by anyone on the roster. Plus, with all of the amazing work that he's been doing over the last couple of months, I think he has absolutely earned a major spot on a PLE. All right, so that was Team Raw. Let's look at what Nick Aldis could put together with Team SmackDown. If I was Nick Aldis, I would make my new acquisition the captain of the team in Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens is also Sami Zayn's kryptonite. This is the guy that consistently, time after time, beat down and beat Sami Zayn, so he can immediately nullify the heart and soul of Monday Night Raw by taking out Sami Zayn here. And Sami Zayn, he's just too good of a guy to ever hurt Kevin Owens at this point, but Kevin Owens is able to tap into that dastardly side of his at any moment, and he has no problem powerbombing the hell out of Sami Zayn. So this is the guy that I want captaining my team, a guy that's not going to have a moral dilemma about attacking his best friend Sami Zayn. Plus, he brings that quarterback intensity, somebody who could just yell and scream and be super intense in a team huddle, and I think Team SmackDown, because of all of the different personalities that it has, it needs somebody like Kevin Owens to scream and really overpower everyone else to get them all on the same page. Because there are going to be some personalities on Friday Night SmackDown, and look no further than Logan Paul. Drink Prime. You can't argue this one. Logan Paul has earned a spot here. Logan Paul is amazing. Logan Paul is your United States champion, and he absolutely deserves a spot on Team SmackDown at this point. Plus, I was just mouth-watering at some of the dream face-offs that we could have had Logan Paul been on this team. Like, imagine a face-off between him, Cody Rhodes, a face-off between him and Gunther. Oh, the options are so good here. My one concern with Logan Paul on this team is his potential inability to work cohesively as a team with the rest of Team SmackDown here, because aside from his very first match, that tag team match with The Miz, we've only ever seen Logan Paul be an individual in the WWE. So will that hinder him in terms of knowing how to play nice with his team? I think so, but hey, I couldn't miss an opportunity to have the biggest major WWE social media superstar on this team. We had to have Logan Paul here. SmackDown was missing some Raw strength here, and we're adding it here with the likes of Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley knows how to take out somebody like a Drew McIntyre, so he is perfect at nullifying the Drew McIntyre problem from Monday Night Raw. His chest is also so big that I don't think that Gunther's chops could have an impact on Bobby Lashley. I'm pretty sure that Bobby Lashley is immune to Gunther chops. And he is the leader of the Hurt Profits now, which brings that into the equation because Raw had the potential of Imperium getting involved. Now SmackDown has the ability to nullify that with the Street Profits as well. Plus, hey, he's a multi-time world champion, a veteran in his own right. He has absolutely a place every day of the week on Team SmackDown. No ifs, ands, or buts. I was gushing about the popularity that Monday Night Raw would have with the likes of Cody Rhodes and Sami Zayn on their team, but what if we have the most popular, organically over WWE superstar right now in LA Knight? I'd be very interested to see what the audience would do if there was a face-off between LA Knight and Cody Rhodes. I think it'd be really split here. But in a similar way to Ivar, LA Knight has just earned his way here. He has done it all. He has gone from being a mega jobber, somebody who wasn't even a wrestler in Max Dupree, all the way to being a potential main eventer and somebody who I could legitimately see as a world champion. He has absolutely climbed every single step to get to this point, and he deserves a spot on Team SmackDown. And dude, just imagine the combination of Logan Paul and LA Knight on the microphone just absolutely tearing down Team Raw. I don't think that they have a psychological counter to that. So adding LA Knight here is just a perfect addition. And last but not least, I would have Nick Aldis include AJ Styles, who not only is a great professional wrestler in his own right, great high flyer, great technician, but this man has put on like 45 pounds of muscle over the last year, it seems. So we got to have AJ Stacks in here. With his added muscle, he now brings a unique blend of strength and agility and technical prowess that I don't think anyone from Team Raw could match. Plus, it's AJ freaking Styles, okay? He can do whatever he wants. If he wants to be on Team SmackDown, you're gonna tell him, you're gonna be the one that tells AJ Styles that he can't be? Because I'm not gonna be. All right, I gotta be honest with you. I think that SmackDown is sweeping here. I think that they're winning the men's match as well. I think it'll be close, but I just think that the unique combination of all of these guys, the strength, the technical prowess, the veteran savviness, the mic work of Logan Paul and LA Knight is just too much to overcome. I'm taking Team SmackDown to go 2-0. But that's who I'd pick for my teams. Who would you pick? This is your opportunity to let me know. Again, patreon.com/SantiZap to help keep the lights on and the mics on. I'd really appreciate it. Take care. And that's it. I'm done. Get out of here.